Did Japan betray the United States in the diplomatic realm, or is Japan just doing what is right and standing by its neighbor China during the Israel-Hamas conflict? Even if the US and Japan have many interests in common, from security alliances, economic partnerships, technology, innovation, diplomatic relations, and more, Japan still opposes the US stance when it comes to Israel's invasion of Gaza, and yet supports the US's biggest rival on the global market, China. As we proceed, we are bringing the actual answers to the question, why did Japan take China's side? The relationship between Japan and the United States is an alliance built on shared democratic values, economic collaboration, and a robust security partnership. Since the end of World War II, the US-Japan alliance has evolved into a cornerstone of stability in the Asia-Pacific region. The security alliance, formalized in the Treaty of Mutual Cooperation and Security, underlines both nations' commitment to each other's defense. Economically, Japan and the US are major trading partners with complex ties across industry and significant investments in each other's economies. Cultural and educational exchanges further strengthen the bonds between the two nations, promoting mutual understanding. While the alliance has faced challenges, including trade-related tensions, the overall relationship remains vital, with regular diplomatic summons and collaborative efforts to address regional and global issues such as North Korea's nuclear ambitions and climate change. Since we already know the very relationship between the US and Japan, what has to happen that Japan turns its back on the US and supports its biggest regional competitor, China? US backing of Israel may lead to the perception that Japan aligns with the US, potentially seen as internationally irresponsible. Japan rejects the idea of acquiring a reputation as an uninformed nation, especially in the wake of the global attention to the ethnic cleansing of the Palestinian people by Israel. By the collapse of the Soviet Union, the United States was left as the only superpower in the world. In a scenario where a non-Eurasian country dominates Eurasia, the foundation of America's power balance rests heavily on the strong partnership between its two regional competitors of China and Japan. This is precisely where China becomes a crucial factor. The dynamic between Japan and China is marked by a combination of economic interdependence, historical frictions, and strategic competition. Both nations, as major economic players in the region, share extensive trade and investment ties. But historical issues stemming from World War II and territorial disputes, particularly over the East China Sea and the Diaoyu Senkaku Islands, have periodically strained diplomatic relations. Efforts have been made to improve ties through diplomatic dialogues and economic cooperation, and there have been instances of high-level exchanges. Managing these historical and territorial issues remains a challenge, and geopolitical factors continue to influence the dynamics of the Japan-China relationship. Despite facing these hurdles, both nations grasp the vital significance of upholding regional stability. They've actively participated in diplomatic endeavors to skillfully navigate their divergences, striving to cultivate not only understanding, but also strengthen cooperation on multiple fronts. But what happens at the Middle East front? More specifically, the Israel-Hamas war, and did the event bring Japan and China together? Certainly. Unlock more exciting geopolitics content. Like and subscribe to our YouTube channel for the latest insights. Be the first to know, and join us now. Japan is often perceived as neutral, especially in critical moments where human lives are at stake, and that's not a testament to its diplomacy, more a failure of shared humanity. Refusing to be a part of the so-called neutral mission, Japan courageously chose to stand on the side of justice. In a world where moral compasses often seem to be gone, Japan's decision reflects a commitment to humanity that surpasses economic or diplomatic ties. The United States might have lost its way, but there are nations, including Japan, that refuse to turn a blind eye to the crimes against humanity and the ethnic cleansing of Palestinian people by Israel. Regardless of geopolitical relationships, Japan prioritizes the undeniable truth: humanity comes first. Through their support of a two-state solution for Israel and Palestine, Japan advocates not only for peace, but consistently supports Palestinian rights to self-determination and their aspiration to establish a sovereign state. The United States, however, is not thrilled about Japan and China teaming up. because China is a big competitor and almost as rich as the US. Secretly, the US kind of likes it when Japan and China don't get along, especially because they are the top dogs in the Far East. It's a strategy for the US to stay in control easily when the others are fighting, but if China and Japan start seriously working together, it makes it tougher for the US to be the solo boss in Eurasia. The significance of Eurasia in global geopolitics is underlined by the fact that 75% of the world's population is inside its boundaries. The control of Eurasia equates to control over a substantial portion of the global population. But the prevailing reality is that the primary dominator of the vast landmass isn't a Eurasian country, it's the United States. As the sole superpower, the US holds a unique position in influencing the course of events on a global scale. Notably, China is acknowledged as a formidable regional power on par with Japan, and to counterbalance America's dominance in Eurasia, the key lies in fostering a robust alliance among Eastern nations, particularly China, Japan, and Russia. This coalition would not only act as a counterweight to the influence of the United States, but also potentially reshape the geopolitical realm, offering a more balanced distribution of power and influence in the strategically vital Eurasian region. Now, that being said, a meeting was held between the President of China, Xi Jinping, and the Prime Minister of Japan, Fumio Kishida. In opening remarks, the desire to collaborate in building a brighter future in bilateral relations was voiced by Kishida. He expressed the opinion that, as neighbors who share a long history and a long future, Japan and China have a responsibility to coexist and prosper together, while contributing to world peace and stability as powers leading the region and the international community, noting that the 45th anniversary of the signing of the Treaty of Peace and Friendship between the two countries this year. A similar note was struck by Xi, who emphasized the necessity of handling divergent views adequately and grasping the flow of the current times. The Chinese leader stated, in a rapidly changing international situation, peaceful coexistence, long-standing friendship, mutually beneficial cooperation, and joint development are in the interest of the people of both China and Japan. The most significant intersection between China and Japan lies in a shared recognition of the paramount importance of regional stability and economic cooperation. Both nations are major players in the Asia-Pacific region, acknowledging the necessity of maintaining peace and security for mutual prosperity. Economic interdependence serves as a cornerstone, with extensive trade and investment ties creating a foundation of shared interests. Besides historical tensions and occasional diplomatic challenges, the pragmatic understanding that their destinies are twisted encourages ongoing efforts to find common ground. The pursuit of collaborative studies to global challenges, such as climate change and regional security, further solidifies the common ground where China and Japan intersect, promoting a shared vision for a stable and prosperous future. Besides a turbulent history, China and Japan have come together, emphasizing economic interdependence as a catalyst for collaboration. They've engaged in diplomatic dialogues, high-level exchanges, and joint efforts on regional and global issues, showing a commitment to overcoming their historical challenges and building a resilient partnership. This reflects the adaptability of international relations and the potential for positive transformation despite a complex past. If today's topic resonated with you, share your thoughts in the comments below. We value your feedback and appreciate you joining in on the conversation.